So to continue from where I left off yesterday, my animals were fighting in the other room, my kitties, and I had to intervene before somebody got hurt. It sounded like they were body slamming each other in the other room. So let's see how far we can get today. As I was saying, last year was a year of transformation and endings. I have resigned from my job of 25 years, and that was a major ending and identity dissolution, which I'm still reintegrating and stepping into the new identity presently. And maybe that's why I'm having so much trouble talking about it, because it's still in the process. Of course, it's going to take some time to fully set, and we are never really. It's not like we climb a mountain, we arrived, and that's it. The way this whole evolution thing works is that this constant change, this constant expansion and learning and integration. So we will always be in transition, and there's always more and more to learn and to achieve, and not from a productive achievement point of view, but from the being, for more alignment with who you are, your internal light. So I remember when I was little, I always felt this little light inside of me, and felt like a little fairy, that I was the child of the rainbow, that fairy-like presence was always there, and I often got lost in the fantasy world of mine, and it kept me sane in this insane world with all these paradoxes and misalignments, and just so much strife. So I've always held on to this beautiful light, thankfully, and my resilience is originating and in that connection to my soul and my heart, for which I am most grateful. I have had some detours during my life, but I always come back to that light. So whenever I have a challenge, I remember everything that I've overcome. I am reminded of it, and I remember my own resilience. And I'm sure you can relate, because we all have had challenging situations in our lives, especially when we're empath. We are often coming into this world into difficult family situations, and often assuming the role of the healers and somebody who will comfort others and harmonize the situation and take on emotions to make it easier for others. So we often sacrifice ourselves and get used to that cycle of self-sacrifice, of taking on more than is ours to take on. So the paradoxes of life, sometimes we get a little misdirected, but as empath, it's also a blessing, because we know how to come back to our light. It's like an innate knowing within us how to do it. So in case somebody doesn't know, or is curious about how we do it, I would share how I do it. I think most of us already know how to, but just in case, I just sit quietly, and instead of being lost in my logical mind, I bring myself deeper into the body and into my heart, and I feel that synchronized breath and heartbeat, and then that peaceful presence starts generating light. It's almost like there's a ball of light inside of you, and it keeps expanding and expanding, and then you start feeling the energy circulating throughout your body, and you become a fountain of this beautiful light. You connect to the earth, you connect to the heavens, and the energy around you starts expanding. So that's how it works. The short version of it. Anyways, so also during the last year, I was guided to do a lot of forgiveness work and the relationship work, anything that was misaligned, codependent, enmeshed, that caused childhood trauma, the people who were triggering those things, and they kept triggering until I had to go in and face it. I have tried again with the therapy, which has helped me somewhat in the past, the behavioral therapy, like talking to the therapist, but they can only go so far. Eventually, my therapist told me this year, oh, I don't know, good question. Basically, it kind of redirected it to me to figure out on my own. And then I realized that there's all the answers are only within myself. Nobody's going to give me those answers. So I would have to sit quietly and figure out how to heal my childhood self, my inner child, my wounded self, from all the things that that I've experienced as a kid, and I'm still not allowed to talk about because it upsets somebody else. And I understand that people are also hurt by what happened, and I have compassion. So in the past year, I've also let go of that expectation that so people from my past who were part of that trauma will be able to and willing to talk about what happened, and so we can have closure together. So to accept that it's not something they can do at the moment or ever was a major breakthrough. And then I realized that I'm my own healer in this traumatic situation, and with the other traumas in life. We will not always get closure with whoever hurt us, and some people don't hurt us on purpose. So how to have forgiveness when somebody might have hurt us on purpose, or when the person refuses to apologize or is gone, you kind of left with that open-ended, that open wound that keeps hurting. So that's where forgiveness comes in, and it doesn't really excuse what other people do or say, or their attitude towards you. It's more about releasing yourself from carrying that anger and hurt. It's more about how you feel inside and offering yourself compassion. So when you're ready, you can do this inner work, this forgiveness work, and you feel so much lighter afterwards. So I'm a big proponent of healing your inner child in a way that doesn't say that you're broken. It's more of accepting within yourself that you were hurt, that happened, and offering compassion to that part of yourself. For example, if you were a child and you had a painful experience, you can go into like a quiet space or meditation and imagine that child in pain. And in my case, I was there on my own. Nobody was comforting me, and I would have loved for somebody, an adult in the family, to come and make me feel safe and loved and offer a hug and listen to how I felt, let me cry. So in that quiet space in meditation, I became like a mother to myself, and came back. In my imagination, I had that little kid to whom I offered the things that I needed at that time. So those hugs that I never got, those kind words, that love, that compassion, and it does heal. It does heal. It makes it better. You might have to do it repeatedly, but that's the healing work that is asked of us at this time, because we cannot be carrying these wounds forward with us. The pain, the cycles of pain, instead of carrying them within and letting them drain your energy, it's time to let them go so that you can be lighter and you can fly. You can fly when you are aligned with your heart and your soul purpose, and you're no longer weighted down by these heavy experiences that sometimes we resist letting go because we want to remember so that we don't go back to a certain situation, or because we are still expecting an apology, or because we're still in pain. There are multiple reasons why we do it, but it's time to let go, because we are shifting as a collective. So each one of us has a role to play in this shift. Each one of us makes a difference. It's not about who does what around us. We're not waiting for the crowds to show us, for the news to show us, for the majority of population to show us the new way, because we are the ones who are creating the new reality. It is coming out from within ourselves, and the new world creation is basically our shifts, our individual shifts, rippling out into the world, and thus the world becomes more loving. It's like when I became vegan, I didn't wait for more people to be vegan. I didn't want to have an excuse any longer. Oh, when this person goes vegan, oh, but they're doing this, it's not going to change anything, I'm just one person. No, you are one person who makes a difference. Each one of us, instead of looking out, we take responsibility within ourselves, and we do our best. We find our best alignment with love in our hearts, that harmony, and we change. And if each person does that, it's going to be a much more rapid shift in our world than looking out and making excuses or having this hopeless feeling that it doesn't make a difference. Just focus within you, and then the rest is going to be whatever is going to be. Don't allow this to influence your own energy and your own actions and your own path. So that's what I wanted to share today. Much love. Take care.